or actually I was even putting out higher quality than they were.
Yes.
And then I sat and figured, well, you know what? Most of the people don't listen. I hate to say it. The majority of my shows are replays.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. Now, the difference is a lot of people say, oh, you're doing a podcast. No, a podcast is where you sit there and you do a show and then you go back and edit it and cut this out and cut this out. My shows are all done live. And yes, I have a certain amount of people. My next to the biggest audience I have is in the UK.
Yeah.
And actually, I've had BBC 2 or BBC 3, I can't remember which one, back a few months ago. They asked permission. They ran my show on because they were doing stuff on paranormal. They ran my show for a couple Sundays, one of my shows.
Nice. The
same with Heather Wade when she was off. I mean, she was supposed to be a guest on my show. But again, on their network, they ran a couple of my shows. Okay, and I tried. I'm not claiming to be the best what I'm at. I just try to do the best I can do, and that's all anybody can do. So that's what I do. I'm not into it for fame. I'm not in it for money. I had fame at one time. I was back in the early 80s. I was one of the top DJs in the Northwest.
I remember you. I remember your voice. You didn't go by Gary though, did you?
No, I went by Rick Stevens.
Oh yeah, okay.
One of them. Then I had a couple other ones. Then it was Andy Barber, a friend of mine. At that time, the King Radio was doing Top 40, and he was always looking for a wife. That was his little gimmick. And we were friends, and we would battle each other. And I always came up higher in the ratings. I remember, whatever, like 95 KJR, things like that. I worked a lot of radio. And I learned from the best. And I learned, my mom, when she was in the hospital dying of cancer, I wasn't there when she died because they couldn't find somebody to fill in on the station I was at. And, I learned what I was told by Charlie Brown. He one time said, you know what? You're an actor over the radio. Okay. So it can be the worst thing happening at your house. But when you go on that microphone, you have to be yourself, and you make the audience comes first. That's how he always told me. So that's how I run my show.
Yeah, that's really how it has to be. I mean, and a lot of people don't understand that. You cross the threshold of the studio, and that's it. You got to leave it all behind you. A lot of people can't do that. And that's it. But so it's been a pleasure to be on here, and
well, I'm glad you were on.
Yeah, like I said, if I could keep going for another couple hours. But
I'm going to pee myself in a minute. I'm at that age where if I don't get up and go to the bathroom every couple hours, I'm not going to go into it. But I'm not into diapers yet, folks. So I'm okay. But I will say I got a couple slots open in late June. And occasionally, like the other night, I had a guest that either he had a phone problem or he forgot he was supposed to be on the show. I had to wing it for a little while. But there's occasionally I'll have somebody that either cancels at the last minute because they had emergency, and then I don't have no guest, which I don't. At this point, I don't want to cancel a show, because I have no guest. No. But I don't want to sit and talk for 3 hours of nothing either. So, you're welcome. And, and anytime you want to, you want to get on the air and you got something you want to talk about, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah. No problem, Gary. I mean, the thing, like I said, it's one of those things where, I appreciate it. I appreciate talking to you. And I hope everybody had a little bit of a, interesting night, barring the guy who thought you don't know anything about Bigfoot, which fine.
It was actually a lady that offered to hook me up with other guests too, which kind of I can, like I said, I don't care. Well, That's not my problem. That's their problem.
Well, and in this situation, it's going to be you'll find that there's a lot of that. It's like, oh, you don't want that guy to be your guest because these other people are better guests, and so that's one of those things. There is. Believe it or not, even though nobody's making any money in the Bigfoot world, there's jealousy about it. It's kind of a scary thing. It's like, well, don't have him tell his story because I'm going to tell my story, and if this person tells their story, and a lot of us all have the same story, so maybe that's a good or a bad thing. It's
the same thing with being behind the microphone here. I have how can I say it? I got a list of, I get them from the same people, Texas every couple days, I'm not jealous of their shows. If they're jealous of me, then that's their problem. I'm doing my own thing, but I will say this: I won't fake it. That's all I'm going to say. I won't fake it.
No, that's it. So I mean, from the like I said, it's I hope everybody learned a lot. If anybody does want to just get a hold of me, because you have anything you want to talk about or any questions or whatever.
Now, Gary, don't give up. You can get a hold of me, or they can find you on Facebook.
That's what I'm saying. My name's on Facebook on the thing. Just click it and I'll friend you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to give up my personal.
Somebody did that, and they had a couple of weeks ago. They made a mistake and gave out their home phone number, and they had to get their phone number changed real fast because they had a lot of crackpots calling them up. That's what I was told.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. No, I've got a VPN server. It shows I'm playing out of the central London right now, I think. But anyway.
Hey, anyway, please keep in touch, and and like I said, I'm more than happy to have you on again, and we can touch into more subjects, and we can do that like towards the end of June.
All right, Gary. It was great to talk to you, and have a good night. Keep up with the good work.
I will try. You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, my friend. So anyway, it was an interesting show tonight, and I want to thank Kevin for being on. People out there, you either can believe what Kevin says or you can disbelieve it. That's up to you. You can believe what I said about Bigfoot, or you can have your own view, okay? But all I can say is maybe you ran into Bigfoot and it was friendly with you, maybe you ran into Bigfoot and it wasn't friendly with you. That is between you and whatever happened. So, coming up in June, we're going to be talking a lot about UFOs and abductions. I have some major guests coming up in June, both in Bigfoot and UFOs, black-eyed children. I even think we got a show on witchcraft. So there's going to be a lot of good shows, and that's where we're going from a 2-hour format to a 3-hour format, is starting on June 4th. So everybody, I enjoyed having you listening to our show. Tell your friends about us, tell your friends about Night Dream Talk Radio. And again, you can, find us on www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. If you think you want to be a guest on our show, contact me at motorcycletalkbygary@gmail.com. That's motorcycletalkbygary@gmail.com. Yes, I'm into motorcycles, and that's how come the word motorcycle came up. So anyway, everybody have a great evening. I enjoyed having you guys all out there, as a listener to our show. So everyone, take care.
check out Night Dreams' website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
You're listening to Night Dreams Radio with Gary Anderson.